Hello, Saitlanders. How are you? I hope that you're well. We all think of you, as we were thinking of you when we produced the video, when we took the decision, I should say, when we held the conversations to produce the video concerning June the 16th, because we ourselves in the HQ, exposed to the information that we are, were ourselves acting on some of that information to a greater and lesser extent. Nobody panicked, but we were all cognizant that we had a moral obligation to share that information. So you are in our hearts constantly. I want to talk to you about an enormous event that has transpired in the South African media landscape over the past week, or a week ago. A week ago, last Sunday, the 14th of June, Professor Koos Malan published, obviously with the approval of the editors and owners of Rapport, an article in Rapport in which he openly called for verzet, resistance against the ANC. This is gelykstaande, that's the Afrikaans word. Gelykstaande, tantamount to sedition, seditie. It's an enormous thing. Of course, he wasn't referring to the ANC as a political party. In other words, don't vote ANC. He was referring to the ANC as the rulers, as the government. He was referring to the state. Verzet jou teen die staat was the implication. Verzet jou teen a state, a government that is clearly not going to deliver on its promises, that is clearly stealing your money hand over fist, left, right, and center like there is no tomorrow, and clearly endeavoring to exclude whites from the South African economy as far as possible. As all of you know, we haven't, as whites, been able to participate equally in government tenders and so on for many years now. I think if I was to choose a round number, I remember being involved in certain tender stuff when the laws were changing close to 20 years ago. So decades. The article was a good article. It was the right thing to say. It is now high time that people do not pander. Pander is an English word, and I don't mean to be crass, but it doesn't apply only to this circumstance, but it can perhaps be best illustrated by the circumstance. There are categories of crime in England of sexual crime that are known as pandering. It's where you just give in to whatever somebody wants. You'll do whatever they want for them, for money. And we, as a people, have pandered the government of the Republic of South Africa at the behest of Naspers, the media, the mainstream media, at the behest of the academic elite and the behest of the liberal elite for a long, long, long time, always to our disadvantage. Now, you can't blame them for the things that they're doing, so it's pointless getting hot under the collar and stamping your foot and writing nasty comments on the internet. With all due respect to you, that's foolish. They are a communist party that has, or a socialist party, a Marxist party. They are a Marxist party that has revealed itself to be so time and time and time again in its own internal correspondence, and that has recommitted itself to a program of radical economic transformation and a national democratic revolution that entails, specifically entails, in their words, in their writing, guys, please, at conference after conference, at congress after congress, specifically entails the eradication of colonialism of a special type, that is to say, the white presence in South Africa, which itself entails, in their words, not mine, the eradication of the colonials by dispossessing them of everything and making them so vulnerable that in the end they can be destroyed. Whether you like what I'm saying or you don't, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So to hear now from voices like Professor Koos Malon that we should be resisting is an enormous thing, coming as late as it does, but coming at all. It's enormous. And really, I don't have much more to say than that. I do hope that you're able to find an online copy of the article, or that you're able to scrounge from your neighbor or family member, if you don't have it already yourself, a hard copy of last Sunday, the 14th of June's report, so that you can read it for yourself and that you can begin to appreciate for yourself the enormity of the mainstream coming out and saying this. Clearly, there are many things afoot at the moment in the world and in South Africa. And indeed, if we say the world and South Africa, then we can also reduce it to, in the Afrikaner, for want of a better word. We don't need to get into the semantics of Afrikaner and Boer. In the Afrikaner society, and then you can distill it further as you distill alcohol and make it progressively purer and purer and purer. You can distill it down to die regse gemeenskap, the right-wing community. Please, guys, how can I put this? Stay alert, stay alive. Stay alert, stay alive, to make coin of the old road safety phrase. Now's the time for vigilance. Now's the time to watch the moves being made by the major forces, both on the left and on the right, both the revolutionaries and those who are outside of that, whether they're mainstream. You can call them traitors, it's fine, but those who are not left, those who are ostensibly, kamstig, anti-left. Very interesting.